Welcome to online training and testing schemes in the wine education. We are one of the lessons in the introduction to sensory evaluation and wine testing techniques. Sensory testing, similarity to chemical analysis, sensory tests must be conducted under standardized and controlled conditions. The instruments of measurement here are sense. Visual perception. From the shape of the bottle to the color of the wine, the view gives the first and most compelling information. Visual perception is the ability to interpret one's surrounding using light in the visible spectrum reflected from objects in the environment. Main involved sense, sight. It generates emotion and modulates preference. In today's society, it's the most stimulated sense of the 5 we possess for making purchasing choices and modulating product acceptability. Light enters the eye through the cornea and is focused by the lens onto the retina. A light-sensitive membrane at the back of the eyes. The retina acts as a translation, the conversion of light into signals. The visual characteristic of wine depends on how its chemical and particulate transmit, absorb, and reflect visible radiation. So we need the measure wine color system by Commission International de Air Clair that give a formulation to analyze the visual characteristic through the frequency of light, brightness or intensity, and purity of light. When we need to understand the chromatic scale of wines, for the red wine, the shades that represent the range of chromatic evaluation of red wines from the younger to the more or less aged are these different type of colors. Pale ruby to deep tawny. So we have different type of color, red color. The chromatic scale for white wines is the same, and we go to lemon green to a deep amber. For rose wines, almost 20 colors from gray rose to the salmon colored rose, rosé. So it's very important the intensity give varied information, the intensity of the color. It could reflect wine alteration or simply being an expression of the varietal and agricultural characteristic of the wines. The evaluation of the intensity of chroma for both whites and rosé is usually done using natural whites, lights. For example, we have natural lights. We haven't in this moment natural lights. So I suggest you to use to evaluate the chroma of a white wine, a white paper, okay? You put a white paper with your, like this, you put your glass with a white paper and you can analyze the intensity of the color. Whereas for the red wine, it's necessary the use of neutral light source, positivity, regularity, diffused, and not excessively strong. And in the same way, we can use a white paper to analyze the color of red wines. You can see the lights, but reflect in your white paper. Brightness. It's an attribute referable to the brilliant object. In wine, it's a bridge between characteristic of color and the other aspect that characterize the visual analysis of wine. There are several tests that prove that color of the wine have a great influence in the taste and aroma characteristic of the wine. Other than the pleasure color can give the observation of wine's color gel little process information. They can give us the gray pigmentation, the duration of skin contact, probably wine age, presences or absence of folds. Clarity. All wine should be brilliantly clear. Like this. Very clear. Is always considered a haziness, is always considered as a fault. Viscosity. Wine viscosity refers to its resistance to flow. The resistance to flow. So, although viscosity is often mentioned in the popular wine press, perceptible increases usually occur only when the sugar or alcohol contents are higher or in cases of wine showing roughness. The glycerol content apparently need to be high from 25 grams liter to have a detectable sensory influence of viscosity. Effervescence. In sparkling wines, numerous compact chains of bubbles are important quality feature. Bubble formation is usually associated with prolonged yeast autolysis following the second yeast fermentation. Still wines may occasionally contain sufficient carbonate dioxide to produce bubbles alongside and bottom of glass. Thank you.